welcome back to the next section of the choreography workshop. We are learning a part of a song, learning some steps to it, and once we learn the steps, we're going to go back and clean them and try and give a little bit of meaning to the movement. So today's song is Lift Me Up, originally by Rihanna, and this is just like a bachata remix by DJ Tronky. So he just kind of put the bachata rhythm into it, so it's easy to dance to. So last time we went over bachata basic steps, and we're gonna do, this is a fusion, so it's not one thing or the other, but we'll do a little review of the bachata basics, not too much, but if you want more, you can go back to the previous video. That was yesterday instead of Monday, because normally we do on Monday. And so we are just gonna do the review of the bachata basics and get a little farther on the steps and just see how far we get today. And hopefully we'll finish out Friday, the latest Monday. We'll clean it and we'll have our little ones there. So the bachata basic is we're gonna step on our right foot, bring them together, and right foot. And this time, instead of bringing your left foot to your right foot, you're just gonna give it a tap. And then we're gonna go the other direction. We're gonna step left, step right, bring them together, step left, and tap. And that's all it is. It's step right, together, right, tap, and left, together, left, tap, right, together, right, tap, left, together, left, tap, right, together, right, tap, left, together, left, tap, right, together, right, tap, left, together, left, tap. And just a note, and just a reminder, if this is something you already know, we talk a lot about weight shift here on this channel, where you're going, where your body is, which leg is carrying your weight. So in most Latin social dances, instead of doing kind of heel toe movements, you're putting your weight right over your leg. And that's what we're gonna try and do here. So when you step to the side, you want all of your weight over that foot. And then you're gonna change it to the other one, and you put your weight over your foot, and then you're gonna tap. Now the reason for this is when we start moving our hips, or rather, it's not really our hips, it's the lower part of our body. This is going to give us that movement. So we step on this leg, we put our weight on it, this hip's gonna go up in the air. So we step on this one, that hip will go up, and so forth. So that'll give us some movement. When you're tapping, press into the floor, and you can give yourself a little lift there. So that's our bachata. This is a very quick basic review, but this is important stuff. So, and I am gonna do a little bit more with weight shift and body movement before we move into the actual steps, because that will help you later on. This is stuff that takes time to get. So let's just review our weight shifting. So when we are shifting our weight, think of your shoulders and hips as a square, and you're gonna move that square from leg to leg. So when you move it onto one foot, if you needed to, you can maybe pick this one up. And it's like it's sliding across a square table. So we have, so in jazz, if you're like lunging forward on one leg, you'd be bringing that hip out, right, with it. And we do sometimes in bachata use jazz movements, but usually it's kind of the opposite. So if you're lunging on it, it's the other hip that's gonna come up. And if it's a social dance, it tends to be small. These are not big movements. These are very, very small ones. So as far as hip movement, when I say hip movement, I actually mean from about here down. So instead of your hips going out, it's like your whole body is swinging like a bell, but you wanna try and move just this part of the body, say from above your knees to like below your rib cage. That is the movement that you want. You don't want too much movement above or below that. And that's going to swing back and forth and go down the middle. So if you want to do some isolations with me, swing back and forth like a bell, like a clapper of a bell. And that is your movement here. Just something to practice. And try it again with the steps. So you step on your right foot, and that clapper is going to swing to the side. And then your left, swing to the other side. And step on your right, going up. And then just a tap. And then to the other side. And coming down. Now, bachata you can do forwards or backwards. But usually if we're going forwards, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, tap, and 5, 6, 7, tap. So if you are, usually the follower starts on the right, but if you're a lead, you'll follow on the left. But since we are just going solo today, we're starting on the right. So right, left, right, tap, and left, right, left, tap, right, left, right, tap, and left, right, left, tap. So we make a kind of a variation of all these movements. So if you're, say, going forward, tap, left, right, left, tap, then you can do the side. And I just kind of mix it all up. And I'll be doing a little bit of that here, but it's really fusion, so don't worry too much if you're not a bachata person. So the thing I want to talk about is the arms. And again, just something to think about slowly is instead of lifting your whole arm, is lifting your elbows. Lifting the movement starting from your elbows and moving out from there. So it also involves your shoulder blades. And what we're trying to do is give a big expansive movement like our whole body is involved, and not just an arm lifting independently. It's our whole body that is taking us with it. Another part of the body we use a lot here is, it's kind of like your, I would say, maybe a chest isolation, but it's just about where your rib cage is. And if you've never activated this before, it may feel a little hard at first, but you just want to kind of imagine the feeling, like you're pushing it out to the side. And this does not have to be a big movement. In fact, most of these movements generally are subtle, although if you're going to be performing it, you want to exaggerate them more. And the same thing with that movement to the front. It's just like your rib cage is poking it out and coming back in. Let's just do a couple of arms. So I'm just gonna lift the right up, and I'm gonna let it come back my head, draping it down, bring the elbow down, and this we usually just bring it right down our bodies. We have things like ballet that go to the side, you would never do that, or they just come down here, they'd be a little bit away from your body. This is right on it. Coming up the other arm, back, and let me come down. And right arm again, down, and left arm. One last thing to remember is that this is a very bendy dance, so you are close to the ground. So if you do something like ballroom or ballet, you're going to be standing very tall, very pulled up. Everything's going to be lifted. This is a social dance, so it's more relaxed because it's meant to be done usually, in a setting where you're just kind of having fun. So your knees are going to be bent. But when I say bent, not all the way, they're just going to be kind of relaxed because you're even stepping on bended legs. It's more an earthy dance, and you want to feel like almost like heavy, like gravity is keeping you there. You don't want it to, it's not light, this is like a different style, if you wanna make it light. This is a very down to earth, earthy, meant for fun, and it has its roots in areas where dancing does tend to be more to the more grounded, and there's also some symbolic things in there too, but let's get to where we were yesterday. Again, this is a fusion, so it's not one style the other. So our starting position is all of our weight is pretty much on our left leg. I've turned this out a little bit because if it's parallel, you're not gonna have very good balance. And if you're facing profile to the audience, you can make your base as sturdy as you want. It does not have to be right behind you. It can be out here, the audience won't see it. You just want to be steady on your legs because when you go out to perform it, very often you feel a little bit more unsteady, like a little bit more wobbly. So you want to make sure that this is very, very secure. And we start, when she says lift me up, or we just start with our chin going up, and then our arm is going to lift from the elbow, so our arm is coming up to follow the chin. So it's lift me up, and then hold me down. Again, your chin is going to slightly precede your arm. The elbow is going to lead. So that chin is coming up, arm is following, chin is going down, and the elbow is leading. Up, and following, and looking down, the arm going back. Just shift over so you guys can see me. And then we're gonna pull in our right leg. And the feeling I want here, even though your arm isn't actually touching your leg, you can touch a little bit, but the feeling is that this arm is bringing that leg, sliding it across the floor. And I want it to be not a gentle slide, I want it to be a very heavy slide, bringing it in. So you're here, and you're sliding it in heavy. And you'd be facing front, make sure your knees are together. You have very straight legs, that's great, that's very good. Just keep them together. If you're a little bow-legged, I'm a little bow-legged. I always have to hide that calf, so I'm gonna bring it in, my knees a little bit in, and squeeze my foot thighs together so that there's no gap here. You want to make sure that your legs are really together here. You don't want any space there. So bring the leg in, and then arms are coming up to hug ourselves, and the upper body's gonna roll. Now here, what's important is that you keep your lower body very, very sturdy. Again, you want to keep your core tight. And think about your legs as being, as I say, tree trunks with roots going deep in the ground, because your upper body is going to be moving and that lower body has to stay put. So again, this is that upper part we were talking about where a lot of movement happens. We're going to try and make the movement come from there so our pelvis can stay right where it is over our legs and we don't get knocked off balance. And again, this little roll here does not have to be a big movement. It can be a small movement. And just do a little slower and coming around. And the arms are gonna slowly come up. And you're just gonna gaze a little bit upwards. No, you don't want too much so that your chin is at your audience. They should still see your face, but it's slightly tilted up like you're looking towards the horizon, up at the sky, towards the horizon. So your right arm is gonna come down and you're gonna place it on a diagonal forward. And then the left is gonna unfold. And we're gonna have that on the diagonal as well. But this one is about parallel to you. This one is lifted up a little. And as the music, then it's just gonna get into the theme. So you're gonna lift that up a little like you're taking a breath. And those arms are gonna sweep downwards and go the other direction. So let's just do the arms. So we have brought our leg in, come to hug ourselves, the upper body is rolling, and then the elbows are coming up. Here you want to make sure it's the elbows that you're lifting, and looking up the horizon. Then this right arm comes around to the other diagonal, so the opposite diagonal as the way you're standing. And the left is going to unfold, so it's also facing that way. And keep your, especially this arm soft, it's just an unfolding. And as you start your bachata, these are going to swing down and go the other way. So if at all possible, you want to use your head here. Your head is going to follow your arms to the other side. And do our basic bachata. And then again, they're just going to kind of fold over us. This arm's going to come back to your hug. This one is going to go over your head as we do the basic in the other direction. And the goal is to make these movements very smooth and continuous. So if I come here, this is a little quicker. And start our bachata, tap, and left, right, left, and tap. So, starting again with those arms. We're looking up. The right arm is coming, the left arm is coming. And taking a breath and you bring your body up a little so you can get right into that rounded movement so it's slow. And the other direction as we fold back. And from here, we're going to take just a step to the other side. The arm's coming down. And this one is going to circle around to step here. So this is just a very quick little movement. So instead of doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, we're doing just the 1, 2, the 3, 4. It's going to go a little step. So I'm still stepping on my right foot, like beginning of bachata. Give that a very slight angle now because this one we've done to the front. So let's give that a little angle. And this one is going to come out and circle around. So, and if you're doing this super correct, you want it to come to the front and then go all the way around, but this is very quick. So we're just kind of coming out and circling around to step to the other foot. It's just a transition here, so very quick one, and step onto it. Again, this is our weight shift. So we want to push off of this foot to make it very quick and come right onto our left. So instead of coming from the back to the front, you want to step right on that foot. And then we're going to step right, step left, step right, and take this one into the air. So in bachata, often instead of this basic where we do the foot tap, we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Use it sometimes for staying in place, changing legs, changing rhythms. So here we're going to do that same thing. We're going to step on the right, step on the left, step on the right, except for this time instead of stepping to it, we're just going to take this one a tiny, tiny bit in the air. So your left leg is just hanging just above the floor. So we're coming from here. We're doing our basic step tap, and then we're going to swing here, step, step, and step, and this one is going to come into the air, and just for a second, so don't worry. But when you do lift your leg up and you hold it there, again with this weight transition, stepping from foot to foot, get your weight right over it. So this is not step and then shift your weight on it. This is step and your weight is already over your leg. Step, step, step. So like that more or less. Yet if you're going forward, you'd be stepping right on it. So here we are. Step, 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 and hold it. And from there, we're going to go backwards. So let's just keep repeating. So the first part. So we've got, we came from here, arm, arm, and going basic, and go to basic this way. For this one, I want you to try and turn your torso a little, twist a little so you're more towards this corner, like you're relaxing into the sun, like it's kind of a longer glance and like you're just kind of lying back and relaxing. So again here, with our first basic, coming backwards, and then you're stepping to one side, that little circle around, and step right, step left, step right. This one comes up in the air. And from here, we're just gonna shuffle back. So here, we're changing tempos. So this is, we talked about this last week, we want to keep things interesting. You don't want anything too uniform. Stay one tempo, or just facing one direction, unless it's very specific. You really want to add some contrast in there, changing directions, sometimes, changing styles briefly, or changing tempos. So we've got our steps here, this comes up in the air, and then we're going to go back very quickly. And from here, we're going to work out to the side. Again, we're going to be circling out. So this movement comes through a parallel position. This leg is going to slide through and a little bit out to the side. As it comes out to the side, you're going to step onto it and your leg is bent. So you're just kind of sliding along the floor. And each time you want to bring your legs together and slide through. So the movement is here, stepping onto it, and I'm bringing it through, trying to have the gaps there, and a little circle to the side, and my weight comes right over it. My weight is usually over the leg that's working, as opposed to the other one. So it's coming over this leg, and then that leg, and then this leg. So it's almost like you're falling in. So you come back here, and rocking outwards. So if we're coming here, let's start from the beginning again. Arms here. Step into the air, and we're going to be coming forward. As we're coming forward, let the arms just kind of go forward, like in supplication. So they're coming slightly forward. Your palms up to say, I'm offering something. So coming from our first step, swing this arm, tap, and tap, step, tap, side, around, and step, step, the left stays in the air. And here, as you're kind of shuffling back, these are just little steps. You can let your body come forward a little, like your butt's dragging you back, like somebody took you and pulled you back. That's the feeling you want here. And we have our slide. And from here, probably have the camera by now, we're going to go back into our basic bachata. And I'm probably going to stop there for today, just a little piece, but I like to go slowly and make sure you understand each movement rather than rushing and not getting everything. I like to do the nuances a little bit as we go, but we will go back and do everything. So come here and remember that little breath there as we sweep through. And then back here, set a little circle. And here, why don't we bring the arms, just we can keep them down, but just you want to have a little bit of movement there, like your arms are just kind of sweeping or blowing in the wind. So, the wind here. And shuffle back. And coming forward with that sliding movement. And then we're going to go back into our bachata basic. This time we're going to just kind of bring our arm and like, almost just like we're a little bit protected, but not too much. Bending at the elbow, coming in. So let's see, why don't we just go back to the beginning and try that again. And we're just gonna keep going through it and then try with music, and we'll pick up on Friday. So we come here, we've got our sturdy position. We're gonna start. Now remember here that you wanna look like you're bowed over, but you don't want a slumping position. You wanna keep your back straight, so you still wanna keep your back working. But as you bend forward, you're gonna turn a little bit from the waist. This is something we do a lot to keep our bodies facing towards the audience, even when our legs are going a different direction. And your head is down, but you don't want to bow it all the way. You want to keep that chin a little bit up. You just want to give the impression that you are looking. So if you choose a spot that's a little bit farther away, your head will still be bowed. So your chin's going to come up, followed by your arm. And here you're going to reach up like you're asking the sky for something. And then your chin's going to come down. The elbow's going to follow it. And it's like your hand is bringing in your leg, so they're together. Here you want your legs nice and sturdy. That's your upper body. Makes a little circle. And then this is like a breath coming up. So your elbows are going to lift, go around your head, and you're going to stay here. Then you've got a kind of transition phrase. So we're just going to swing around. This one's going to unfold. And then you're going to go into your bachata basic. You're going to swing through. And go backwards with that. And a little circle to come here. Then step, tap, step, tap, step. Left leg stays in the air. Remember here, when you're stepping on the leg that, when you're stepping on your leg, you want all of your weight on it. This is just general, all your weight is particularly important here because you're going to pick it right up in the air. You already want to be balanced on your leg. Because if you're just stepping and then you have to get to your leg as this one is lifting, it's going to be a lot harder. That's when you get the little wobbles and all of that. So here, in your step tap, get that weight right over whichever leg you're stepping onto. And particularly here, think about ahead of time that you want your weight there, so this one can go into the air and hold you there. From here, and then we'll shuffle back, and a little slide forward, little circular motion. And then we're going to do our bachata basic again. And we're going to scoot back so you can see me. And as we come into it, we're going to fold this one in, fold this arm in, and give this one a little bit of life. What we want to avoid, even when our arms are down, is letting them hang. So even if it's down by your side, you want to give it a little bit of life. Excuse me. So let's repeat again a couple times, and then try with the music, and finish up for today, and continue on Friday. So taking position, remember back straight, and sturdy base, chin looking far away. Trying with your chin, and the arm is coming up, chin coming down, followed by the arm. Just let it slide again, make it heavy, and make sure there's no gaps. Circling around, and lifting your elbows up with a breath, and waiting here. Then right arm, left arm unfolds, and swinging it through. Coming back the other way, stepping right, I'll circle to the left, and then we're step, tap, putting your weight on the leg you're stepping on, step, leg into the air, scooting back, and sliding curve, and then going right into your next bachata movement. All right, let's repeat that again. little bit faster, and then a little bit faster again, and then we'll try with the music. So, just up here, me up, hold down, safe, safe and sound, and swing over. And side to side, and holding your leg in the air, and scooting back, and coming forward, and then going into basic bachata. So we're gonna try and connect these. As we practice it, it should become smoother. You're gonna wanna go from one movement to the other without a big break. You want it just to look like one continuous movement. So just something to think about. Let's do that a little faster, and we can just give it a whirl with the music. And y'all can see here. So. Okay, so how do we feel about having it with some music? So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to just have you think about as we go through it next time. Again, think about keeping your legs almost like they're heavy, like they're filled with wet sand, so they really plant you firmly on the ground. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So think about that as you plant your legs. I say plant them. Maybe that's the word I was looking for. When you, instead of stepping on them, you're planting them, and then the rest of your body comes with you. Like you're going straight over your leg instead of shifting your weight. All right, so if we can have the music, then let's try seeing if it fits with the music. And sometimes we have to adjust things as we're creating a piece, but I think this works out. Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound, burning in a hopeless dream. Hold me when close to sleep. Keep me warm with your love and your heart. How did you do? You on? Do you have any questions or comments? If you want any feedback on your own dance, you are welcome to send it to us. You can attach it below. If you just want to keep it private, you can send it privately. We're always happy to help, and hope you're liking the piece. A lot of you chose this song, and it's just a beautiful song. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and it has a lot to say. It has a lot of expression in it, so I'm enjoying it. All right, Fireflies. I will see you on Friday. We're thinking of moving times up a little bit so they're earlier because our get ready for the day routines are getting longer and longer as we're building up because they're progressive, and a lot of people have to get to work. So let me know what you think about that, about starting a little bit earlier so that we can fit in everything we want to do and let people get to work so they have time to do it, and just have a good start to the day. So thank you for being here, my Fireflies. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I so appreciate you, and I'm sending All of our love to you, and I will see you.